Okay, okay. So, good morning, all. I'm Shaya Meshra, and I'm here to teach you the subject DA, that is Design and Analysis of Algorithm. The subject which I'm going to taught you is the Design and Analysis of Algorithm, both practical and theoretical portion. Okay, so before starting our actual syllabus, we will just take a brief overview of our syllabus, what we are going to study in throughout the session. Okay, is the screen visible? Yes. So this is our syllabus, design and analysis of algorithm. Prerequisite for this syllabus is the basic understanding of data structure and algorithm analysis. So, I think everyone is aware about data structure. What is data structure and what comes under data structure? What are the different types of data structure? How we can implement them? And what are the different algorithms which are associated with the data structure? I think everyone is aware about this. Uh, this is the course outcome. What is the outcome of our course? Okay, so we'll go towards the course content. So in this course, we have to study? We have to study first is nothing but the introduction. So in this introduction, we have to study. We can say what is algorithm. We have to study what is algorithm. Then fundamentals of algorithm problem solving. Fundamentals of algorithm problem solving. Okay. Then second. So if you see the main content, so here we are going to study related to the first topic is related to the analysis of the algorithm. So what are the different notation, asymptotic notation for that? What do you mean by the efficiency? What is the notion of an algorithm? So that means we have to study under this introduction part. Secondly, we have a brute force and divide and conquer. The second topic is related to the brute force and the divide and conquer. So, brute force is for related to the string matching. So, brute force is computing and string matching. So, what is then convex hull problem? What is the meaning of traveling salesman problem? What is knapsack problem? What is assignment problem? So that all we have to study under this brute force. Okay, so we have to study what is the knapsack problem, what is the assignment problem, what do you mean by the traveling salesman problem. So all these things we have to study under this brute force and divide and conquer strategy. Under this divide and conquer methodology, under this divide and conquer methodology. So if you have studied this data structure, if you have studied data structure, so uh, you know about the you can say uh, binary search. Okay, So searching techniques are there in data structure, binary search and the linear search. So we know that in binary search, what we have to do, we have to divide the list. We have to divide the list, and then that separated list we have to process as a single one. Again, that two separated lists we divide again into two parts and then perform the searching. So that is nothing but your divide and conquer. So in so under this divide and conquer, we are going to study binary search, merge sort, quick sort, heap sort, then how to perform a multiplication of large integers, then closest pair and convex hull problem. So under this divide and conquer strategy or under this divide and conquer methodology, what we are going to do, we are assigning this binary search, merge sort, quick sort, heap sort. All these things we are going to study under this divide and conquer strategy. So as I told you, the divide and conquer algorithm, or we can say divide and conquer strategy, what it did, it works on the concept of it breaks the problem into two or more sub problems of the same type, and then solve it accordingly. Again, divide into the problem and then solve it accordingly. So for that divide and conquer algorithms. So we have a binary search, we have a quick sort, we have a merge sort, we have a integer multiplication, we have a matrix multiplication. So all these things are comes under divide and conquer strategy. Next we have dynamic programming and greedy technique. So can anybody tell me what do you mean by a dynamic programming? Can anybody tell me?
It is basically optimizing the code during the runtime. But
Yes.
I hope I'm right.
When, yeah, whenever there is a term dynamic is there, whenever there is a term dynamic, so at that time it works during the runtime. So we can apply this dynamic programming. We can apply this dynamic programming and the greedy algorithm techniques on different algorithms. So what we have to study here in our syllabus. So we have to study principle of optimality, point changing problem, computing a binomial coefficient, how to compute the binomial coefficient. Then under this dynamic programming, we have to study Floyd's algorithm, multi-stage graph, optimal binary search tree, knapsack problem, and a memory function. Under this greedy technique, we have to study Prim's algorithm, Kruskal's algorithm. So if you are aware about the data structure, so already you know what is Prim's and the Kruskal. So Prim's and the Kruskals are the algorithms for finding the shortest path in a, or we can say this is sorry, this is used for creating a spanning tree. It is used to find the minimum cost spanning tree. So Prim's algorithm and Kruskal's algorithm are used to find the minimum cost spanning tree. Already you have studied this in data structure. Okay, so same thing here also we have to study what is this Prim's algorithm and Kruskal's algorithm. So these are comes under the greedy technique. Along with this, we have to study the knapsack problem and the Huffman race.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, can you increase the font size?
yes.
Thank you.
Now it is visible.
Ma'am, a bit more.
Wait. I think this is sufficient.
Yes, it is visible, ma'am, very clearly.
Okay, so we have a this iterative improvement. So under this iterative improvement, we have to study the simplex method, the maximum flow problem, maximum matching in the website graphs, and the stable marriage problem. That we have to study under this iterative improvement. Now, along with that, we have to study limitation of algorithm power. Along with this, we have to study the last unit as a limitation of algorithm power. Limitation of algorithm power. So under this limitation of algorithm power, under this limitation of algorithm power, so what we have to study? We have to study related to the NP complete. Okay, so we have to study here what is P, what is NP, what is NP complete, then what is NP hard problem. What do you mean by the backtracking? What is NP problem? What is Hamiltonian circuit problem? What is subset sum problem? Branch and bound, LIFO search, FIFO search, then assignment problem, knapsack problem, traveling salesman problem, and approximation algorithm for NP hard and NP complete problems. Okay, so in overview, we can say here what we have to study. First of all, we have to study related to the analysis of algorithm. So first of all, we must know what is algorithm, and then what is the notion of an algorithm. Then what are the fundamentals of algorithmic problem solving. After that, here we have to study the analysis of algorithm. So how we will analyze the algorithm. So if there is a term analysis of algorithm, so it is related to the complexity. So in general, we consider we have two different types of complexity: space complexity and the time complexity. So what we consider as a space complexity. So as the name suggests, space means the space required and to store, and the time complexity means time required to run. Secondly, we have a second strategy as a divide and conquer. So under this divide and conquer strategy, we have to study the different algorithms which are following this divide and conquer strategy. So as I told you, divide and conquer means dividing the list and then performing the operation, dividing the list into the sublist, then performing the operation, again divide the sublist into the again two parts or two or more parts, and then again perform the operation. So divide and conquer strategy. So for divide and conquer strategy, we can use binary search. Then we have a merge sort. We have a uh, quick sort. Okay, so all these things we can apply by using a divide and conquer strategy. Third unit is related to the dynamic programming. So under this dynamic programming, we have to study the knapsack problem, Floyd's algorithm. Then in the same unit, we have to study the greedy technique. So in this greedy technique, we have algorithms related to the Spanning tree, that is finding the shortest path in the spanning tree, Prim's algorithm and the Kruskal's algorithm. So in this way, we have a such type of topics in our syllabus. Now, these are our textbooks. This is Annie Levitin, Introduction to the Design and Analysis of Algorithm, third edition, Pearson Education, 2012. You can easily download the PDF of this book. You get the PDF of this book on the, if you search on the Google, you will get the PDF of this book. So again, second book is Elise Horowitz, Sartaj Sahni, and this Rajsekharan, Computer Algorithms and C++. Okay, so these are your reference books. Introduction to the Algorithms by Thomas. Then another book we have Data Structure and Algorithms by Ullman. These are your reference books. Now along with this, as I told you, along with this we have a practical session for this design and analysis of algorithm. Today also we have a practical at 2 o'clock. Okay, so what we are going to do in the practical, that also we will see. So either we can perform the practical by using any programming language. Either we can use or C, C++, or a Java for performing this design and analysis of algorithm lab. So prerequisite for this lab is awareness of C, C++, Java programming, and the data structure. So we can implement this either in a C or a C++ or a Java. Okay. Now again, these are the title of the experiments. So the experiments are depending upon the whatever the techniques we are going to study throughout the syllabus. So we are going to study this divide and conquer strategy. So our first experiment is related to the implement the solution to the following using divide and conquer approach. So it means we have to perform this merge sort by using the divide and conquer strategy. Secondly, we have to implement this counting inversion in the given data by using this divide and conquer strategy. Multiply the large integers, implement the multiplication of large integers by using divide and conquer strategy. So first practical is based upon a divide and conquer strategy. Second practical is based upon this greedy approach. Second practical is based upon greedy approach. So in this second practical, we have to implement the knapsack problem. Then secondly, we have to find the shortest path in a graph. So for finding the shortest path in a graph, we have a different algorithm. So here the algorithm that we have to implement is the Disgustas algorithm. Third practical is based upon the implement the solution to the following using dynamic programming approach. So first is subset sum problem, and second is fractional knapsack problem. And the third, we have to implement the Bellman force algorithm. So first is based upon divide and conquer, second is based upon greedy algorithm, third is based upon dynamic programming. Fourth is write a program to solve 0-1 knapsack problem using backtracking approach. And fifth is write a program to solve 0-1 knapsack problem using branch and bound. So whatever we are going to study in our syllabus, based upon that, we have a practical session. Okay. Now we will start with our actual syllabus. Wait a minute. I'm going to share a screen. Is the screen visible? So our first chapter is related to the notion of an algorithm. So first of all, we will see what is algorithm. What is the notion of an algorithm? So we know that. Can anybody tell me the definition of algorithm? How we can define the algorithm?
Step-by-step procedure to solve a particular problem.
Yes, we can say like that. Algorithm is the step by sequence of an instruction. In simple language, we can say algorithm is nothing but a, sequence of instruction which we will execute, which we will use to solve a particular problem. Okay, so we know that an algorithm is nothing but a sequence of unambiguous instruction. So if you have studied, there are certain characteristics of algorithms. We will also see in today's lecture regarding that. So an algorithm is nothing but a sequence of unambiguous instruction. Algorithm is nothing but a sequence of unambiguous instruction. Sequence of unambiguous instruction for solving a problem. It is the sequence of unambiguous instruction for solving a problem, that is for obtaining a required output for any input in a finite amount of time. Okay, now whenever we know that there is a certain steps for solving any problem. If you want to solve the problem by using the computer or by using any programming language or by using any software, so there are certain steps. So what are the steps? So first of all, we have to analyze the problem. What we have to do, if suppose one problem is given, so what we have to do, first of all, we have to analyze the problem. Analyze the problem means what is the input of that problem and what output we will be getting. Analysis means what is the input for solving that problem, and after solving that problem, what output we will get. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to convert that problem into a mathematical formulation. What we have to do, we have to convert that problem into a mathematical formulation. After converting that problem into a mathematical formulation, then we will write some set of instruction. Then we will write some set of instruction which by following that instruction, the problem can be solved. First of all, we will convert the problem into a mathematical formulation, and then we will after converting it into a mathematical formulation, then we will write some set of instructions, and that set of instructions are nothing but a algorithm. That set of instructions are nothing but a algorithm. For example, if I told you, if I have a problem for solving addition of two numbers, let us take a very simple example, addition of two numbers. Okay, so whenever I will get that problem, what I will see, how I can formulate that problem into a mathematical form. So we know that addition means I need a plus operator, formulation means I need a two, and what will be the input? So input will be the two numbers, and as a output I will be getting the sum of that two numbers. So first of all, I will be analysis the what is the input and what is the output. After that, I convert it into a mathematical formulation, and then I will write the instructions to solve that particular problem. So how my instruction will look like? First of all, what I need a two numbers. So I will write in the instructions. So algorithm is having an English-like statement. There is a no access problem. There is a no access syntax for writing the algorithms. Okay, so algorithm is mainly having a English-like statement. So what I write, input any two numbers. input any two numbers. After that, perform. So say A and B, input any two numbers. For example, say A and B. In step number 2, I will write C equals to A plus B. And then in next step, I will write print sum of A and B, that is print C. After that, if there is a big problem, so after that, the next step is convert that sequence of instruction into a diagrammatical form. Convert that sequence of instruction into a diagrammatical form, and that diagrammatical form we call it as a flowchart. After converting it into a flowchart, now we have an algorithm, we have an algorithm and we have a flowchart. Flowchart tell us the flow of execution of our instruction. Okay, diagrammatically हमारे instruction किस तरीके से execute होंगे, all these things will be represented in a flowchart. Okay, now we have algorithm, we have a flowchart. Now we can implement that algorithm and flowchart into any programming language. Now we have a sequence of instruction. What we have to do, that we have written in terms of algorithm. Okay. Now we can implement that algorithm into any programming language. The sequence will be different. The sequence will be different, but the logic will be same. Which logic is written inside your algorithm? Okay. So if you want to give the input in a C, we have to write printf scanf. If it is the case with C++, so we have to write C in Cout. If it is the case with the Java, so we have to write another thing. If you want to give the input, so then that time we have to handle the exception. Otherwise, if you want to print something, so we have to write system.out.println. Only the syntax is different, but now we will be having a solution, we will be having a steps for solving the particular problem. Now we can implement it into any programming language. So that's why we can say that an algorithm is a sequence of unambiguous instruction for solving problem. So sequence of an unambiguous instruction will not be a ambiguous, confusing नहीं होने चाहिए. For example, if I write add A or B to C, if I write add A or B to C, what is the meaning of this statement? We will not getting. Either हमें A add करना है और B add करना है. Okay, so if there is a need to add A, so we have to write add A to C. If you want to write add B to C, so we have to write add B to C. Okay, so how we can write add A or B to C? This is very confusing, so that's why we need only a sequence of unambiguous instructions will not be a confusing. Now here you can see this block diagram. So this block diagram represent the notion of the algorithm. This block diagram represent the notion of the algorithm. Okay, so what is inside this block diagram? So here you can see that we have a problem to be solved. As I told you, convert that problem into an algorithm. Convert that problem into an algorithm. Okay, so algorithm is nothing but a sequence of unambiguous instruction. So sequence of instructions is nothing but our algorithm. So convert that problem statement into the algorithm. Okay, after converting the problem statement into the algorithm, now any programming language, wait a minute. An algorithm. Okay, so algorithm is a procedure. It has two parts. The first part we can call as the head, and the second part we can call it as a body. So these are the some algorithmic steps how to write an algorithm. How to write an algorithm. Okay. So steps for writing an algorithm. So first step we have an algorithm is a procedure. So it has the two parts. The first part is the head and the second part is the body. Okay. So first part is the head, second part is the body. Now the head section consists of a keyword algorithm. Head section consists of a keyword algorithm and the name of the algorithm with the parameter list. So whatever the parameters are required for executing that particular um, algorithm. So the head section consists of a keyword algorithm and the name of the algorithm with parameter list, for example, algorithm, then name of the algorithm, and these are the parameters. For example, if I want to write the algorithm for addition of two numbers, so how I have to write algorithm, then addition, then a comma b. So, but as I told you, there is no as such any fixed instructions ki how we have to write the algorithm. Here these are the some points with the help of which we can aware how to write the algorithm. हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि algorithm किस तरीके से लिखा जा सकता है, but these are not the fixed कि ऐसे ही होना चाहिए. Okay, so head section is having a algorithm name, the keyword algorithm and the parameters. Along with that, head section may have a this type, that is problem definition, then input associated with it, and the whatever the output will be getting. We will see it in the example ki how to write the algorithm for any particular problem. So initially in the head part, what we have tried, keyword algorithm, then the name of the algorithm, and then the parameters that we need to execute that algorithm. Along with that, we can specify the problem description. It means problem description means what is your problem. For example, addition of two numbers, I have to write the problem description is the algorithm is for the addition of two numbers. What is the input and what is the output, that we can specify here. In the body of an algorithm, we can use the various programming constructs like if, for, while, and the some statements like assignments are used. So we can use here if, for, while, and any other assignment statements that we need. The compound statement may be closed with curly brackets, or we can use for if, for closing we can use and if, for we can use and for, and for while we can use the and while. Okay, respectively. Now proper indentation is must for a block. Those who know the certain those who are aware about the Python language, they know the indentation meaning. So instead of giving the bracket, we can use the some spacing. So with the help of that spacing, we can understand whether our block of if is started and where it is closed. Comments, we can write the comments by using this double slash. So here you can see that. So comments are written by using double slash. So comments are written at the beginning by using a double slash. Nextly, the identifier should begin by a letter. Already you know that, and not by a digit. It contains alphanumeric letters after first letter. No need to mention the data type. This is the algorithm, so that's why there is no need to mention the data type. So identifier is nothing but the variable. So we know that what are the rules for creating any identifier or the variable. So here also same rules we can follow. So identifier should be begin with a letter. Should not begin with a digit. It contains alphanumeric letters, okay, after the first letter, and there is no need to mention the data types like C, C++, Java. These are the programming languages. There we have to mention the data types, what type of data we are going to use. But in algorithm there is no need to write. The left arrow is used for the assignment operators. Instead of equals to sign, here we use arrow. Instead of equals to sign, here we use arrow. So v arrow 10 means we are going to assign this value 10 to the variable v. V arrow 10 means here we are going to assign this value 10 to the variable v. Along with the if, else, we can use here the Boolean operators like true, false, logical operators, and, or, not, and relational operators. That is, relational operators also we can use. That is less than equals to, greater than equals to, not equals to. Okay, so we can use these operators in the algorithm. Input and output can be done using read and write. So we can displaying something we can use write, and for input purpose we can use here a read. So input and output can be done by using read and write. Here also we can use the array, if, then, else condition, branch, and loop can be used in the algorithm. Okay, so if you want to write an algorithm, so at that time we can start it with the algorithm keyword, then the name of the algorithm, and whatever parameters we want to include. If you want to include any comment related to that, so in comment means what is your problem description. Secondly, what is the input and what is the output, that we can write there. If you want to use any if statements, that will be ended with the end if, or if you want to
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, most of us only like 70% of the students know Java, but the rest of the 30% student Java, I mean Python. Rest of the 30% students don't know Python. Then what should we do? Like, how will we cope up with the subject?
Yeah, so there is no need to in this subject for that. So we can implement it by using Java.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Wait a minute. Now, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So in this we are going to implement logic by using either C, C++, or Java. There is
Okay.
no need of a Python. We have another lab of Python. So there I will teach the basics of Python from basics.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, in the lab I will teach from basics.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. There is a one word here, indentation. That's why I told you. So those who are aware about the Python, they know the meaning of it.
Okay, ma'am.
So whenever we start with the Python, so I will told what is this indentation.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So these are the way of writing the algorithm. So in the next lecture, we will see how to write the algorithm. We will take certain problem and try to write the algorithm for that particular problem. For example, if you want to calculate the GCD, greatest common divisor between two numbers. So for that, how we can write the algorithm, that we will see in the next lecture. Okay. So, but before that, I will take the attendance.